What percentage do venues and promoters take from an artist's merch? What is the industry standard? This should be a quick video. We'll quickly go over the different types of venues and promoters and what percentage they take from an artist's merch. For starters, we got to talk about the two different types of merch that they take a percentage from. The first one is your recorded goods, also a lot of times called hard goods. So hard or recorded, usually the same thing. Some people will define them a little differently, but your recorded goods or music, books, DVDs, right? Anything that has some kind of a recording process. So usually your books, you're recording, right? Your text. So there's some venues that will challenge that. Always push back on that. Your books, if you have books that you're selling, that is a recorded good, right? That's something you're going to go through the copyright office. You're going to copyright that. Technically, t-shirts designs, you could copyright the design, but anyways, books, DVDs, vinyls, music, right? Those are all things that are going to be recorded goods. Outside of that, the next thing is your soft goods, right? So soft goods would be t-shirts, hats, hoodies, posters, pretty much anything else would be a soft good. And what is the percentage that venues take? Usually it's different. Some venues will take a standard percentage across the board. And I guess one thing I'll want to mention real quick too, maybe guilt trip some of the venues and other promoters here a little bit. Live Nation gets a lot of heat all the time, right? Because they have the big, giant, mega promoter out there. And I can say for sure, at least at the club level and theater level, so at House of Blueses and Fillmore's, things like that, they do not take a percentage from recorded goods. Again, they do not take a percentage from recorded goods, right? They allow the artist to keep all of their recorded goods. The reason they do this, they don't believe in taking a percentage from recorded goods. And then two, it's because a lot of their artists they work with are major label artists. And if you understand record label deals, the royalties that an artist sometimes will get are about 10%, right? So if Live Nation or if a promoter takes 10% or more from an album or from music, and that artist is signed to a major label or a big indie label, and that's all the percentage that they're getting, they're actually not making any money, or sometimes even losing money if the venue or promoter are taking 20% from recorded goods, right? So try to always fight for your recorded goods if you can, because you're going to lose a lot of money on those scenarios. Then, so let's talk about the percentages. So typical percentage on recorded goods is anywhere from 20 to 10% going to the venue and promoter. The bigger percentage is always going to the artist. Clubs, so if it's a small club, I have seen 10%. Usually, a lot of times clubs won't touch your music as well. So small clubs, we're talking about 1,000 person and less. Once you start getting into theaters and performing arts centers, a lot of times they will take anywhere from 20 to 30% off your recorded goods. When you go to amphitheaters and stadium arenas, about the same, 20 to 30% off of your recorded goods. Sometimes even 10. So that's what they usually start at, right? Then a lot of times you can negotiate. There's always room to negotiate. You can say, can we do recorded goods at 90-10? Or can we keep our recorded goods? So always fight for your recorded goods. It doesn't ever hurt to ask. And the more leverage you have, if you're an artist that sold out a venue and then you come back and now the venue wants to take 20% again for your merch, you'll just say, hey, last time we sold out, we had a really good show. We like to keep our recorded goods because we share a lot of that with record labels or other people. Can we keep 100% of our recorded goods? And if the venue says no, go play somewhere else. You sold out. You now have leverage, right? So use that leverage when you have it. Now talking about the soft goods. Soft goods a lot of times start at 20%. Sometimes, again, you can negotiate soft goods to 10%, but soft goods at a club level, 10 to 20% is what they're going to take. At a theater, performing arts center level, bigger clubs, about 20%, and then once you go, and then sometimes 25%, and then amphitheater, stadiums, arenas, 20 to 25%, sometimes 30% is what they're going to take off of soft goods. So hopefully that clarifies the merch question for y'all a little bit. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, leave them in the comments. Love to engage. Love to see what people think. Is it fair, right? Is it fair for venues to take a percentage from your merch? The venue's argument is they're providing a space for you to sell merch, and they're not charging you to use their space. They're not charging you to use their lobby. The only thing that they booked and contracted was the show that's happening on stage, right? So is it fair for venues to take a cut from your merch when they're giving you a space to be able to sell merch from? I think if you were going to any kind of event and you were going to have a booth or a conference or anything, you would pay for that booth, right? Again, Just saying what the argument is from the venues and promoters. Of course, it's also an additional revenue stream for them, since a lot of times it's hard to make money on tickets. Generally, it's now that I mentioned that, usually promoters will make 2 to 3% on average of ticket sales in profit, right? So it's usually very slim numbers, and that's why they need to have ancillary revenue to make additional money. But again, that's a topic for another day. I have a video on how promoters make money. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, please share. And thank you all for watching. Go see shows, meet people, make stuff. Peace, my friends.